was a bit far away, but that shadow could only have belonged to Max. There's no doubting it, especially since I saw his uppity symbols. His silk hat, that black cloak, they were all there. His face was silhouetted, but there was no doubt that it was him. His cloak was fluttering in the wind, so I couldn't really see what he was carrying. It does seem as if the defendant was at the scene of the crime. It took the clown long enough to get his facts straight. But whatever. This should finally be good enough. Yes? It is decisive testimony. Was Max really at the crime scene that night? He said he wasn't there. We have to believe in that. Alright, Mr. Wright, commence your cross-examination. Okay, now hopefully they're not gonna penalize me for just asking questions and trying to get information from him. But for the sake of trying to make sure that I don't just lose points unnecessarily, because, God, that was annoying, and I hate it when the game does that, that is the wrong button. I am going to make a quick save. Okay, with quick save in hand, let's go ahead and look at this testimony. It was a bit far away, but that shadow could only belong to Max. Don't you think that you're going a little overboard with how explicit you're being? That shadow belonged to Max is an awfully firm statement, don't you think? What are you getting at? I'm just saying that one of your fellow performers' life is on the line here. Are you truly 100% absolutely certain that it was Max? I'm not the kind of person who would lie about something as serious as this. The silhouette I saw was Max. I'm convinced of that. Doesn't seem like he's jumping to any conclusions this time. Let's go over this again then. What makes you so sure that you saw Max that night? Okay, I think we are actually getting the regular testimony here. There's no doubting it, especially since I saw his symbols. He's missing the flowers, though. Trilo said the same thing. Trilo said the same thing. But if it was just the symbols, then even I could have been wearing them. What if someone had just taken Max's symbols and worn them? I thought of that myself. Just looking at the shape of the face I saw, it must have been Max! You're sure of that? Such a silly little boy. He threw his entire case headlong into a trap. Okay, silk hat, the black cloak, but where's the flowers? You're sure that this is what you saw that night? Exactly what I said I saw is exactly what I saw! I've got eyes like a hawk! Don't birds have terrible night vision? Not all of them. That's not all I saw. Okay, yeah, we're at regular testimony again. Thank God! His face was silhouetted, but there's no doubt that it was him. Even though he said that he has eyes like a hawk. You were able to see that kind of detail from your window? There's a light near the scene of the crime. Anyone with decent eyesight should have been able to see that much. Out of curiosity, Mo, what is your eyesight like? I can see like a hawk out of my left eye and an eagle out of my right eye. Our records say his eyesight is a perfect 20/20. That must mean he could have seen the crime scene clearly. The more we look into this matter, the more suspicious it becomes. Yeah, you asked me what my eyesight was like, not what it actually was. Okay, his cloak was fluttering, so I couldn't really see what he was carrying. So you didn't actually see what the criminal was holding. That's correct. I've been curious to know what caused that loud noise. It must have been something incredibly hard. Too bad they haven't found the murder weapon to know for sure. They claim it was a blunt object. At least it says so in the autopsy report. Trilo's testimony and now Mo's. It really seems like Max is the killer. Nick, you've got to find a contradiction in this. That's not going to be enough. What? I have to prove that Mo saw someone other than Max that night. That's the only thing that will help. gotta do it. And no change in testimony. Okay, at least I know what we're basically going off of. We have to prove that it was someone other than Max that was there. We have the silk hat. I'm thinking the poster? Because that's the main thing, is that the symbols aren't all there. The hat was there, the cloak was there, the roses are not. But is that what we're specifically looking for? The other thing is that I'm thinking that the blunt object is just the wooden box. Because this thing is surprisingly heavy, and if it fell from the, I don't know, say the 3rd story window and fell right on the ringmaster, that would be a blunt force object right there. But I think I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself with that. The seasoning bottle, though, is really freaking weird. It's just regular pepper. But I don't really, especially when it comes to these, we know that it couldn't have been Ben. We don't really have anyone else, unless it was somehow Regina. So I don't think we're looking at people. We have to prove that somehow it was someone else. There's no, especially since I saw his symbols. His silk hat, that black cloak, they were all there. What about the roses? Were the roses there? His cloak was fluttering in the wind, so I couldn't really see what they were carrying. Yeah, I mean, I pressed all of this and I didn't really get anywhere. Yeah, and pressing it doesn't really help. I have to prove that Mo saw someone other than Max. So, I mean, at some point, Max's hat was stolen, as well as his cloak. It's gotta be the... That's the only thing I can think of. The poster would show the roses, and he hasn't mentioned anything about the roses. Whether or not that's actually, like, intentional or not, then... I'm gonna give it a shot. Because he hasn't mentioned anything about the roses. Objection! Yeah! You say you saw all of Max's uppity symbols. I suppose so. The silk hat and the cloak, right? Mo, everyone knows that Maximilian Galactica has 3 uppity symbols. 3 symbols? Yeah! Everyone get ready! All together now! Silk hat! Cloak! White roses! What the hell? Oh, no, he didn't say hell. Sorry, that was my brain filling that in. Who cares if he knew that there was 3 or not? He saw what he saw, and he saw the symbols. He just forgot to mention one. Isn't that right, Mo? Do you like pie? I love pie! 3.14 message! Silence, fool! You will respond with the whole truth, no fractions! Order! Order! Mo, you didn't see the roses, did you? To be honest, there weren't any roses on the person I saw. Objection! The crime scene was dark. It's obvious it was too dark to see that kind of detail. Objection! But the witness said he was able to see the silhouette of the criminal's face. Not to mention that the roses are white. There's no way he could have missed them. Objection! That the roses must have fallen off when the defendant assaulted the victim. If that was the case, then the police would have found them near the crime scene. Mr. Wright, are these white roses truly material to the facts of this case? Clearly not. He's just toying with this court. I've got her on the ropes now. These seemingly insignificant facts have never failed to lead me to the truth yet. Someone is toying with the court, but it's not me! Your Honor, do you recall Trilo's testimony? There's no way I can mistake someone wearing those 3 ridiculous symbols. How can you mistake someone with that crazy getup and his nose stuck up so high? How can you mistake someone wearing such a snobby 3-piece getup? Trilo saw them all. Trilo saw all 3 of Max's symbols. However, this witness claims that there were no white roses on the person he saw. There's absolutely no doubt that this is a contradiction. Now what am I supposed to think? One is supposed to disregard the pointless, but this... Judge! Forget the roses! Think about his other testimony! The witness has stated without a doubt that he saw Maximilian Galactica. Nothing else matters! Let's wrap this case up now. Your Honor, it may be trivial, but it does cast doubt on the prosecution's case. Frankly, I have my doubts about this witness. It seems that, unlike wine, the witness has not grown more mature with age. I'm not mature. I've come to a conclusion. I'm 99% certain that this witness saw the defendant. However, my remaining 1% of doubt is quite reasonable. Which means that for my peace of mind, I'm going to request a bit more testimony. What?! If there are no contradictions in his next statement, I'm prepared to issue a ruling. A ruling?! Nick, this is your last chance! Oh boy, more testimony. I thought we were gonna call it a break for the day. But no, we're just going with more testimony. There's no doubt in my mind, there were no white roses that night. However, all the other symbols were there, I'm equally sure of that. Especially the silk hat. There's no way I could forget seeing the decorations on it. He was wearing it the entire time that he was on the scene. Mr. Wright, you've got one last chance at this. Just one chance? I will not allow even the slightest hint of badgering against this witness. If you're going to prove to me there's a contradiction with Mr. Curls' statement, you'd better have at least a shred of evidence to back up your accusations. Oh my god, a single shot at this. I've got to be careful. I understand, Your Honor. One chance is all I will need. Oh boy! Cool. Okay, I remember this from the last game. No questioning. No questioning at all. I have to prove a contradiction here. There's no doubt in my mind there were no white roses. All the other symbols were there, especially the silk hat. He was wearing it the entire time that he was on the scene. Do we present it? Huh. I'm thinking maybe that because at some point the hat fell off and was left behind at the scene of the crime. There's no way I could forget seeing the wait a minute, hold on. So we've got the hat, we got the feather. If we look at the post... No, it's exactly right, and that was what we were stated before. So the hat is genuine. Seeing the decorations on it. That seems weird, though. Decorations? Because the only decoration is the feather, which would be decoration. And from the poster, we also know that it only has the feather. Oh boy, everything with Mo is just putting me completely on edge. I really hate having to save state after each testimony. I hate doing that. I almost feel like that's a little bit cheating, even though, you know, that's an option for a reason. It's not like I'm using an emulator or anything. I'm just gonna play it safe. hate doing save states like that. There's no way I forget seeing the decorations on it. That is having me suspicious. It's either that or wearing the entire time. Because, well, the entire time he was on the scene. So it could have been that he left the hat and then left the scene. But the main thing is there's no way I could forget seeing the decorations on it. There's no decorations on this hat. There's just a feather. A single decoration. I'm gonna give it a go. Nope. Okay. Can we... Okay, so it's not like that. Can we press? Or am I going to get penalized for that too? Mo, be honest. Ow! Oh god, that's all of them! Wow, I'm really glad I did that save state because that was a whole 5. Yeesh. Why is it so harsh? Yikes. I mean, at least I was right in thinking that, oh, hey, if I just try pressing, I'm gonna get penalized, but that is such a harsh penalty. Okay. I'll try my other option. It was the other option. This wouldn't happen to be the silk hat you saw that night, would it? Yep, that's it! That's the hat he was wearing that night. No question in your mind? Exactly how would one mistake a thing like that? I see. Is there some sort of problem, Mr. Wright? Miss Von Karma, where exactly was the silk hat found? Must you always ask these questions? It was found at the crime scene. The crime scene. That means the silk hat fell off at the crime scene. However, the witness clearly testified to the contrary. The witness stated that he was wearing it the entire time that he was on the scene. No, that's not true! Order! 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 Mr. Curls! Yes, Your Honor? What is the meaning of all of this? You are old enough to know better than to behave like this in court. Hey, that's just not right. That's so harsh. What's not right here is your eyesight and your memory, among other things. Why are you being so mean to me? What did I do? Let me guess, you just didn't like my jokes or something, right? You didn't have to go and insult my eyesight or my memory. They're both great. Seriously, why? Just because you're sitting here above me doesn't mean you, no matter how I get it, will always be welcome to you. Enough of these childish outbursts, Mr. Curls! Who do you think you are? I saw him! I swear I saw him! It was Max! Even if he didn't have his roses, he was still wearing his dumb silk hat! I'm telling the truth! He's turned into a bratty little kid. It's pitiful, isn't it? He left the scene wearing that dumb silk hat! He was there! He left the scene? What's the matter, Nick? There's something I've been mulling over for a while now. Mo, what do you want? You just said that he left the scene. Exactly how did the murderer leave the scene of the crime? What? He what? What do you mean, how did he leave the scene? You can't ask me that.
Objection!
Mr. Phoenix tonight is badgering the witness, Your Honor.
Objection!
This witness's testimony is full of holes, Miss Von Karma's. No, let's try that again. This witness's testimony is so full of holes, Miss Von Karma's protest is useless. Gah! You've got a point. Let's hear what the witness has to say on this matter. Is that alright with you, little guy? Don't talk to me like I'm a little baby! Besides, what kind of stupid question is that? How did you leave the crime scene? The answer's obvious. You just turned around and walked away. That's what I expected you to say. You sure that's how it happened? Say what? I'm not sure I know exactly where you're going with this. Lawyers nowadays sure do love to harp on the smallest things. Do you have any proof to counter this story as to how the criminal left the scene? Yes! The crime photo. There's only one set of footprints. That's why Max was arrested in the first place. Alongside the hat, but still. Take that! Look at this picture. The problem is the footprints in the snow. Footprints? In this photo, we can clearly see the footprints of the victim. However, where are the criminals' footprints? They aren't there. So, Mo, exactly how did the criminal escape the scene? Your Honor! This witness has already proven that his testimony is completely unreliable. I move to strike all of this witness's testimony from the court record. I agree. This clown's testimony is as rickety as the clown car he came to court in. Wait just a second! You guys can't just ignore everything I've said. Fine, I'll tell you the truth this time. You wait a second! I think you've said more than enough for today. That didn't hurt. I'm sick and tired of listening to you anyways. I'll give you the real deal this time, I swear. I don't know why, but I get the feeling things are gonna get worse before they get better. Mr. Lawrence Curls. Yes? The testimony you provided up until now has been false. It hasn't been false. I haven't lied. It's just what? It's just I was a bit confused on the bit about the criminal leaving the scene. Especially since Von Karma and her whip told me not to talk about what I really saw. Order! Order! I will have order! Franziska Von Karma! How could you? Your Honor, if you had heard the truth from this witness, you have exactly the same opinion as I have. What opinion is that? It's not funny. That's enough out of you! I'm going to listen to what he has to say. Now then, let's hear the truth about what you say you saw, Mr. Curls. You're not gonna believe this, but it's all true, I tell you. Try not to waste your time with your idiotic drivel. Okay, last one, please. Now it's time for our next segment, Mo Knows! Everything that I've said up until now has been the truth! When I looked out the window, the ringmaster was down and Max was standing above him. He wasn't wearing his white roses, but he was wearing the silk hat. That's when I saw he. This is the truth now! Get ready for it. He flew! He jumped up and flew through the air! He flew right off and disappeared into the darkness. That's why there were no footprints! Flying people don't leave footprints! I told you it wasn't funny. Do you believe me now? Well, that was, how do you put this into words? Maximilian Galactica is a world-class magician. But to leave the scene of a crime by flying, There's no way that actually happened. You're right. Why is she right? You believe the other witnesses? Why would you believe me? Especially since it's the best part of the story! To be honest, this is the first time I've heard of a flying criminal. What do you think about this witness's testimony, Mr. Wright? Ah. His eyes were I don't think his eyes are playing tricks, because we have actual evidence that there's no footprints leaving the scene of the crime. It's obviously not a dream, because, you know, that's getting really existential. I think he's telling the truth. What he just said was so strange, I don't think he would have made it up. Which means that he's telling the truth? That's what I think. Nick, wait! That means Max actually used magic! Yikes, you're right. Ow! Only a foolish-looking fool could be fooled by such a foolish fool's foolish dream. Don't be ridiculous. Magic does not exist! I suppose I will let you all in on my thinking regarding this matter. The criminal disappeared into the sky. I'd love to believe that, but I just can't wrap my head around how that could actually happen. You imbecile! If you disregard a need for proof, Miss Von Karma's case is sound. However, I've got the feeling that this case is in dire need of more investigation. Thus, I will conclude today's proceedings at this point. It's an undisputed fact that the criminal left no footprints at the scene. Tomorrow, I want us to find out the reason behind this mystery of mysteries. I believe that's enough for today. Court is adjourned! Hey, sweeties. What in the world is going on? That's what I want to know. They say the criminal flew off into the air and disappeared. Max, I can't believe I'm asking this, but you didn't fly that night, did you? I know you didn't mean to ask me such a fabulously stupid question. I can't fly whenever I please. It's not that easy. But it looks so effortless for you on stage. It's not that simple! I'm not actually flying on stage! I use invisible wires and have the boy spin through the air! Wow, you just told me the secret to your magic! No! I broke the first rule! The cardinal rule! The only rule! I'm sorry, Max. We made you break a magician's creed to never reveal the secret to their tricks. Nick, what do we do now? All we can do now is hope we can find the flying criminal in court tomorrow. Great idea! Let's do our best and catch this sucker. Okay, well, after that minefield and a few mines stepped on, I think we did pretty well for ourselves, and we survived the first day in court. So, next time on Let's Play Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney, Justice for All. We're gonna head back to the crime scene and get some more investigation done. I am really thinking that it's this Acro person. What, is his full name gonna be Acrobat? Probably is, knowing this game. Anyway, it's probably going to be related to him somehow, but we'll try to get some more investigation, try to find more evidence and testimony, and see what we can come up with before the next day in court. So, until next time, everyone, take care.